This is the National Weather Service in Grand Forks. Let's take a look at seeing how the growing season has been so far by looking at temperature and precipitation trends. Now for the first part of July, the clear trend has been wet. This is particularly true in western and southern parts of like North Dakota, like northeastern South Dakota, and west central and southwestern like Minnesota, where some areas have picked up 3-4 like inches of rain so far this month. In the northeastern part of like North Dakota and northwestern like Minnesota, the conditions are more variable. Around Grand Forks, Thief River to Baudette, we have received significant rainfall and thus are still running a bit above average for the first part of July. Around Devil's Lake and areas down toward Fargo, still a bit drier than usual. Temperatures have been warm everywhere with mean temperatures averaging 2 to 5 degrees above average. If you look at the last 30 days, the trends, what we saw in the last slide, continue in this one. Generally a bit below average like precipitation has compared to normal, particularly around Fargo northwestward through about the Devil's Lake area and also around Bemidji as well. Overall, a bit wetter conditions, closer to average or a bit above in the Northern Valley, and you can see the well above average precipitation in parts of western like North Dakota, down toward Aberdeen, and also particularly in areas of southwestern like Minnesota. And for the temperatures, it's no surprise that everybody is running above average. The Northern Valley being the warmest with averaging 4 to 6 degrees above normal. If we take a step back and look at the entire growing season, roughly from April to early July, the trends are, over that entire period, of generally a bit drier than average in a large part of eastern South Dakota into the Red River Valley. The exception around Grand Forks, which had some rainfall in the early spring. So for what we can tell from the precipitation map there, on the left, spring started out quite dry, and only kind of lately are we starting to break into the deficit in terms of rainfall. Regardless of the time of the month, the last really 120 days have been mild with temperatures generally running 1 to 4 degrees above average. So overall, if we saw the growing season started out drier than normal, there was some concerns about a drought that could impact the crops this summer. Planting season was delayed as well due to a late warm-up in April. But the last 30 days have seen increased amounts of rain in many areas, calming fears about too dry of a conditions. Temperatures have been favorable, generally quite a bit warmer than average, with warm nighttime lows. This has allowed crops to mature and grow quicker than normal. Thus, overall, the crop conditions across the area are quite good. The exceptions, of course, are those areas that have had severe weather with hail or high winds, or maybe locally too much of a rain. But overall, conditions so far the growing season have been pretty good. We will continue to monitor and update this as we get into the latter half of the summer and early fall. Thank you for listening. This is the Weather Service in Grand Forks.